What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we're talking about Dogecoin today. This one is inspired, not necessarily a request, but an inspiration due to Tank Dreams. I believe it's either Tank Dreams or Dream Tanks. But we're looking at this one, man. You brought something up talking about how we have experienced shorter areas of accumulation, bear market to this bear market. Could we be in the shortest, smallest phase of accumulation? The idea that was kind of promoted was, we have a smaller amount of time to accumulate, making the price go up in a faster time than it normally does to kind of give people that fear of missing out, that FOMO, and just not give people a chance to buy more. And I responded to that with initially saying that I think that's hopium. To me, it sounds like hopium. I've had those thoughts with plenty of things, and I just remember whenever I was very hopeful. Countering to that, we had a little back and forth, and I think there are good arguments to both sides. But one of the strongest points that was made was that we have dropped 93%. Right? If we go back overall in time here, from top to bottom, we dropped here 92.8%. We dropped more than the last bear cycle already. Right? From over here, from top to bottom, we dropped 96%. Okay, so we're within that range of normality for Dogecoin to bottom, and I think that is a good argument to make. This is like the one thing really that has me thinking we might not go lower than this low. Maybe we have bottomed. Maybe we are going to go up. Maybe we continue to move sideways, whatever. But maybe we just don't go lower. But overall, I do personally expect that we do go lower. I do, mainly because this was, if you measure from bottom here to top. Let's see, bottom to top. This was 219x. That was a 219x rally. From here, from bottom to top, we had a rally that was phenomenally higher than that. It was a 549, almost a 550x gain. That was about twice, a little bit over twice the last rally that we saw, and it didn't take as long. It actually happened in a lot quicker of a rally, with more volume too, of course. But with that, my argument is, if we just had the most dramatic rally that we've ever seen, would it make sense that we would have the shortest bear market we've ever seen? And yes, while we have dropped 93%, bigger overall than this one, I would argue that this bear market was still more painful because there was a lot of volatility, a lot of sideways movement. It bored a lot of people out, and it lasted, instead of 406 days, it lasted over 2 years. It lasted over 2 years, okay? This one barely lasted a year. And then back over here, from top to bottom, and that's not the right top. Let's see. From top to bottom, we lasted 469 days. So, a couple months longer than this one, actually. So, would it make sense that after the largest increase in the shortest amount of time that Dogecoin has ever seen, that we would have the easiest bear market? I don't think so. And it's arguable that the bull market isn't even started, so maybe we're still in the bear market without even going lower. We could be in a crab market. Moving sideways does cause pain. It definitely does. People think that it doesn't. It's just boring, but boredom causes pain, man. It causes people to buy on these quick little pumps. It causes them to sell on these quick little dumps. It causes people to get bored, buy something else that they have their eyes on, and then this thing goes up without them, and then they buy after it pumps. Moving sideways, in my opinion, is one of the more painful things to watch than it actually going down. People think going down is a lot of pain, but going up, going down can be pain. But sideways, to me, is a good reset for any market. Because pain is a good reset for any market. They say buy when there's blood in the streets, right? Blood and fear. Anyways, the main discussion was the accumulation zones, and they've been getting smaller. And I don't know necessarily, Tank Dreams, what you were looking at as far as that goes, because I know I was saying from top to bottom, actually it's gotten longer each time. This one being the exception so far. I do think we're going lower than that, but you were saying not the top to bottom, the overall accumulation. But I'm wondering if you're measuring your accumulation zones from the bottom here to whenever we break out, right? That would be 686 days, right? Let's see. Yeah, 693 days, whatever. From the bottom to when we broke out here, that was 294 days. And then here, from the bottom to where we are, I think that's already longer. So this is already longer than that. I don't know if that's the accumulation zone that you're talking about. Maybe you're talking about this overall accumulation zone where it kind of started to flatline, right? That's 763 bars. And then, here, this one is still longer, where we started to kind of flatten out, maybe you measured it from back here, from this original bottom where we'd yet to bottom yet. But we still went up. We had a nice like fake rally and then down. I would make the argument, and yes, this is shorter from that perspective, but now I think you're nitpicking, because I would think from that argument we could take this accumulation zone into account probably back here at this low, right? Because these prices are still in the same area, and with that, I mean, this is a little bit shorter, but just a little bit. Overall, I would say more or less actually what they are is the same. They're probably the same amount of time, which to me, I'm not expecting a longer amount of accumulation. I'm not expecting a shorter amount. I would expect something to be in the realm of the same. And if you guys saw my video, I really do actually recommend watching the video that I made on Dogecoin versus BTC, because I think it'll help with the timing of this a little bit. I drew that a little bit longer than this one, a little bit shorter than this one, but that takes us all the way toward the end of 2024, not where we will bottom, but where we will pump up. And the reason I think this, I feel like I'm not going to go into total detail with this, but C-Zar gets tacos. If you were to watch this video here, anybody that wants to watch it just for their own amusement, Dogecoin, is it time to go or is it not? Sad face. I think this is a really good video in explaining the time range of Doge and what it likes to do, because I personally do think that it likes to accumulate for a long time, whether it's getting lower lows or even going up. It likes to be boring for a very long time, and then it moves. Even though this was dramatically faster, this movement overall still took like less than a year from bottom to top. That took 301 days, right? That's not that long at all to move up a 200 and something x, 220x almost. From here, from bottom to top, and I'd say actually where it broke out, which let's just say maybe right here, from there to where we went all the way up to the top. I'm a little bit over there, 175 days. So that's dramatically shorter, sure, but still. Even 301 days is a short amount of time for a 200 something x. That's insane, man. Let alone a 500x and 175. And it wasn't a 500x actually, and this wasn't a 200x. That was from the bottom to top. That's what they were. I don't know. These are still phenomenal rallies, though, is what I'm trying to get at in very small amounts of time. Could crypto have a bull market that lasts until early 2025, late 2025, maybe even into 2026? I think it's possible. And I think most people are kind of expecting that. I think that's the overall expectation on the time analysis side. So if let's say we put it right in the middle of 2025, right in June, just to try to get it kind of from that perspective. If we were to go back 175 days, comparing it to the last rally, which I doubt we see as spectacular of a rally as we did last time, but I'm going to try to get it right on 175. I can't. Come on, right there. That would give us until December of 2024. And again, that would be a very similar range of accumulation as we've seen previously, which I would argue, and it depends on how you want to look at this thing, man, but I would argue that this range of accumulation was the same size as this range of accumulation. I would say that you started accumulating back here, and you probably started accumulating back here too, right? And then until you like popped up right here, that's really whenever you stopped accumulating. It's go time, right? You've been accumulated. The supply's done. You don't need to accumulate anymore. You're expanding now. But that right there would be 175. If we went back all the way to 301 days, 308 days, whatever, that still gives us a whole year from now before we move up. Now, does that mean that we have to go lower over that time? No. I just don't think that we break above this high here. And really, truthfully, I don't even think that we break above this high in that time, or at least not until we get closer to that. So I would say anywhere between this time of year next year, or even later than this time of year 2 years from now, is when Dogecoin will start to move up. And that might sound boring, guys, and sad to say, it is kind of boring. I want to see this thing turn up too, but Dogecoin was the most spectacular coin in the previous bull cycle, and it took its sweet time doing it, man. If we go again, this is just a little teaser for the video. If you check out that video, the Dogecoin, is it go time or is it not? If you check that video out on the channel, I talk about this right here. If we look at where Dogecoin bottomed, or like let's just say where it started to turn up, it was in about November of 2020. Okay, go to BTC USD. look at it for November of 2020. What was it doing? Well, November of 2020, let's draw a certain, maybe we can draw a vertical line. Vertical line, November, right there, November 2020. Where was it? It was halfway through its bull market. It was actually over halfway through. If you want to say it started back here, over halfway through. Even here, it's about halfway through. So, you know, everything else in the meantime, when Bitcoin's going up, most cryptos are going up. Everything else in the meantime, I know Ethereum and a lot of altcoins were doing their thing during, this was DeFi summer, you know, like this 2020 going into it, that was DeFi summer. And, man, it was, you know, it was a spectacular time to be in crypto, but not for Dogecoin. Dogecoin didn't start having its rally until about, you know, the winter of 2020, after DeFi summer. And anyways, what I'm trying to get to, guys, and to answer that question overall, is I personally don't see, I don't see it. I don't see it. And maybe I'm the one being nitpicky. I don't know, but I don't see it. To me, this range of accumulation, it's not that it's bigger or smaller than this range. They look the same. They look the same. And if you bump it out into the monthly, like these, it just looks very symmetrical, man. Like it looks like a very nice symmetrical trend going up. And with this, I would say if we had some kind of ascending channel here, fib channel, if I can get this right, I don't know, something like this, you know, we are well within the area that we could continue to drop lower. We could go all the way down to 3 cents. We could, if we do it before 2024, if we do it before this year's over, even like in the next couple months, we could go down below 2 cents even. You know, we could, and I think we could even go lower than this range. It's possible that this line might not be drawn completely accurately. Maybe we have broken out of this range already before a little bit. I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe it's more like this. You know, it's kind of hard to say, but overall we are in some kind of ascending channel. You can see it, right? Let's see here. I don't know, maybe something like that. Maybe if I draw it from the bottom. Let's try drawing it from the bottom. Let's take that low into account. We'll take this low into account. Then we'll go to that high there. Or maybe we'll go, no, we'll do that. I don't know. I mean, maybe. Actually, I don't know. Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could take this high, and we could say that we broke out of this channel, even found support on it, and broke back into it, because we are resting right on the heart line there. You know, that could take us all the way down below 2 cents. Yeah, if you know, you really wanted to play it like that. This is the lower trend line after all. If you ignore all these other lines, but this lower red trend line, we could go lower. We could go phenomenally lower. The last cycle, we bottomed out below the previous all-time high. Could we bottom out below this previous all-time high? I think we could. And that is at 1.877 cents. I personally don't think we're going to go that low. I'm just saying we could. It wouldn't be out of the norm. And we could even go lower than that, man. We could go all the way down here, break out of this channel, and guess what? We still have higher lows overall, which is a bullish thing. You know, it wouldn't be good to break structure, but I mean, if you hold a higher low, you're holding a higher low. Maybe that would mean that we don't see a higher high. Sad to say, but I don't expect that. I would more expect that we are, you know, ultimately going to go around about 3, I would say anywhere from about like high 2 cents, just below 3 cents, to just below 4 cents, somewhere in that range. And that is a big range, 2 to 4 cents. That is a pretty big range, but or I guess that'd be like 3 to 4 cents, still a big range. But that's my overall prediction. So no, I personally don't think that the accumulation zones are getting shorter. I think even here it's a little bit more obvious. Like you could say here's where you started your accumulation, here's where it ended, right? You could say here, I don't know, man. However you want to. I guess here I'd say you started your accumulation there, and then here's where it ended, right here, right? They look. This one does look a little shorter on the monthly. I'll be fair there. But again, if I'm doing it from back here on this first low before we even had the bottom there, I don't know, man. Maybe you do move it back here, because this is still in that price range, that overall price range right here. You know, it's hard to say. But anyways, maybe I'm the one being nitpicky, but I personally don't see it. I don't think, and even if we were, let's say for all shits and purposes that we were accumulating, I don't know, like somewhere around here, right? And then we broke out right there. And then we did it. Let's say that we didn't start accumulating until about here, and then we broke out right here. Let's say that it was 792 days, 940. So that was about a difference of like 150 days, right? So that would put us at about would that be 640, something like that? That would still put us into March of next year that we would be accumulating still. That's still more than enough time. Even if this was to get smaller, I don't think that we're going to be accumulating and break out right now, because this would be half as much. But I don't know. I don't know what zone is being observed as that. Personally, to me, like this flat zone on a monthly kind of makes sense. If we look at it on a weekly, I'd argue that you could come back even further than that. On a monthly here, I think that from where we found this bottom here, got a little fake out to the upside. This kind of overall zone here is an accumulation phase too. You've got a very flat bottom right here, right? Like lows here, lows there. So I would say even back here, this was like the starting of your accumulation. You distributed, you ended it, and then you started accumulating here. Yeah. You're ending your distribution with a massive buy. This was probably like some form of accumulation, right? And you continued to do so. You ended your distribution here. You got, or maybe even here, and you got a massive buy. Hard to say, but this overall, if we were to put another like kind of line at the bottom, it's arguable that you started it back here. It's arguable that you started it over here. Maybe, so it's really hard to say. But even regardless, even if it is shorter, I don't think that we're at the end of this accumulation now. But I do expect more or less that we're going to see something closer toward the middle, if not the end of next year, before we see a breakout in Dogecoin to the upside. And that's just the main perspective I'm trying to drive home. I do think we go down in the meantime, and I don't know if I have anything else to say. I feel like I've just hit this thing over the head enough. So with that, I'm going to leave it off. If you guys like the video, leave a thumbs up, subscribe to see more, and I will see you all on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye. Adios.